Ian Pomp Doodlequiz. There are 6 stages of mitosis. The first stage is interphase, where the cell, which is the resting state before the cell starts to divide. The second stage is prophase. It is when the DNA copies itself and the sister chromatids line up next to each other. The third phase is metaphase. It's when all the chromosomes made of sister pairs line up in the middle of the cell. The fourth phase is anaphase. It's when the spindle fibers pull the sister chromatids apart one by one, and each sister chromatid goes on each end of the cell. Telophase is when sister chromatids reach the ends of the cell, so the cell starts to split in two. And the sixth stage is cytokinesis. It's when the cell splits in half and a new nucleus forms in each cell. Meiosis has 9 stages. The first phase is interphase. It is the stage before the cell divides, just like it is in mitosis. The second stage is phosphase. It is when the homologous chromosomes line up next to each other in the center of the cell. Well, not yet, though. They just line up next to each other. Metaphase is when the homologous chromosomes line up in the center of the cell. Anaphase is when the homologous chromosomes get pulled apart. But the sister chromatids are still attached, unlike mitosis. Telophase and cytokinesis are together. What I'm about to say, it's when the cell splits apart. Well, starts to split apart and then splits apart. But there are second ones of these stages. So there is phosphase 2 as well. It is when the sister chromatids pair up in both of the cells. In metaphase 2, sister chromatids line up in the center of the cell in both of the cells. In anaphase 2, the sister chromatids are pulled apart in both of the cells. And again, telophase and cytokinesis are together, but it's telophase and cytokinesis 2, which both of the new cells divide. So now there are 4 cells, all with a nucleus. When mitosis process ends, the final 2 cells are identical to the parent cell, which was the original state, the original cell. But with meiosis, the parent cell is different, just similar, but still different from the parent cell. The final state is similar to the parent cell, but not identical. When you reproduce via mitosis, you are reproducing with asexual reproduction because there is one parent. But when you reproduce via meiosis, meiosis and fertilization, you're reproducing sexual reproduction, and there are two parents. Each form of reproduction have environments that are good for it and environments that are bad. With mitosis, I'm going to tell you two environments that are good for mitosis and why. Two biomes that are good for mitosis are the bottom of the ocean, because there are not a lot of animals there, and you don't need a lot of animals because it's only one parent, and you don't need to find a mate. And it's cold, and pretty much it doesn't have seasons, so it's always cold and always dark, so it doesn't need to adapt. Another environment is a desert. It doesn't have seasons. It only has one season, hot and dry, and it doesn't have a lot of animals there either, and it doesn't really need a lot of animals. It only needs one. It only needs one parent, which will favor it in both of those. Meiosis also has environments that help it. Two environments that help meiosis are a forest, because there are a lot of animals there, and meiosis needs two parents, and the seasons change, and meiosis can live with that because it can adapt and evolve. It can adapt to the weather, and if it can't, it can always just evolve later. And another environment that would help is a stream. A stream has lots of different kinds of fish and animals that live near it and in it, which will help because with meiosis, you need two parents. Each form of reproduction has advantages to them. So, sexual advantages are the animal can evolve / adapt. So really, say if there's harsh weather one year, next year if it still has that harsh weather, it will know what to do, and it probably will survive. Another advantage is it can't die from one disease. Unlike asexual, the species cannot die from one disease. Asexual advantages, it reproduces faster, so there will be more of the species in a quicker amount of time because it reproduces faster. And just not non-changing environment. I'm going to change that and really what the non-changing environment really means is really it can live in one place all year, all the time. Like it can live at the bottom of the ocean and survive for the whole time. It can because it doesn't need two parents. It only needs one parent, so it can live places where there's not a lot of animals / species, and it will still survive because it only needs one. Here are some examples from species that are asexual. Starfish are asexual, and bacteria is too. I think because they live at the bottom of the ocean, and there's not a lot of animals there, and so it would be harder to find a second parent. And there's only one season at the bottom of the ocean, so it could live down there. With bacteria, I know bacteria is all over the place, but it needs to reproduce much faster, which will help bacteria. So, yeah. Some sexual animals are grizzly bears and sand scorpions. Some reasons why I think about these are grizzly bears, so it doesn't get sick that easily and it can't die from one sickness, which is good, and they live like in forests and streams and stuff, near streams where there's a lot of animals to help survive and to get kind of second parent. Same with sand scorpion on those. Except for I don't think, well, yeah. Same with sand scorpion. The end.
Hi. Made with Doodlecast Pro.